The following video is a production of the Fondation LatinArte, in association with the MEM, Centre Mémoire Réalisation, and the International Center for Information and Documentation on Haiti, the Caribbean and the Afro-Canadienne community. It was produced under the direction of Mariza Rosales Argonza, in 2018, as part of the project, Vues transversales. The video is part of Mémoire de Montréal, the MEM's online encyclopedia. It appears in the collection, Stories of Immigration, and in the dossier, The Latin American Community in Montreal. It shows a meeting with María Ezcurra, a multidisciplinary artist from Montreal, who immigrated from Argentina. In her small, bright workshop, there is a work desk and a sewing machine. Several pieces of art hanging on the wall show pictures of birds. Throughout the artist's story, images of downtown Montreal are shown. On Crescent Street, a mural showing Leonard Cohen's face adorns the facade of a building. The residential school totem pole by Charles Joseph stands in front of the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts. Then, the Grey Nun's Mother House hosts a Concordia University Hall. Finally, at a community event at McGill University, María Ezcurra leads a workshop. The participants dance, then share a meal. Credits begin. Images scroll by, as if on a film reel. Some of them stand out. Across Park Martin Luther King, St. Pascal Baylon Church stands beside Plaza Côte de Neige. In her workshop, María Ezcurra uses a sewing machine. Facing Beaver Lake, a woman and her dog are sitting on a bench. The Place de Youville fire station stands under a blue sky. The title appears. Vues transversales. The film reel zooms in on the face of María Ezcurra. She has brown hair and light eyes, and wears a purple sweater. In the artist's workshop, birds made of wool and fabric rest on the lid of a wicker basket.
My name is María Ezcurra. I'm a visual artist. I was born in Argentina and raised in Mexico City. I have been living in Montreal since 2010. I came here to do a PhD in art education at Concordia University. I came with my family, with my partner and my 2 children. For like the 5 years that the PhD lasted, I was like trying to keep my practice as an artist while also doing the PhD. I tried to integrate the arts in the PhD, but this balance between art and academia, or even this idea of bringing the arts into academia, is getting stronger, but it's still challenging in many ways.
As she tells her story, María smiles, then she uses a sewing machine.
Yeah, I was living in Mexico City. I was having like a very busy, chaotic life. I was working in one city, living in the other one. I was driving many hours every day from work to my house, bringing the kids to school. Mexico City, it's like a lot of traffic. It's huge. We were, as a family, and also for me in my professional life, I was like very tired of like spending so much time in the car and in the traffic. And at the same time, I was teaching in a university. I have an MFA, or had an MFA, but suddenly for teaching in a university, they started asking us to have PhDs. So suddenly the idea of doing a PhD became very interesting. And I thought it was a good opportunity to try to go somewhere else. And Montreal seemed like, my mother has been doing research. She works in the university in Mexico and English literature, but she has been working a lot with Canadian literature, women and literature, Margaret Atwood. So in a way, I knew Canada through her and through her work, and I have many friends. And when we started looking at options for coming here, Montreal seemed like a great place. I mean, it was a big risk because I chose it without having been here before, but all the things I could see, or I talk with people about, it's a great city. I mean, the cultural life of the city is amazing. The quality of life is very good. So it seemed like a good choice for me as an artist. It has very good universities, so it was also a strong option in an academic term, but also seemed to be a very good city to come with a family if you have children. The amount of people in Montreal that speaks, people that were born and raised in Quebec, but that speak Spanish, or many other languages. I love that. I feel people in Quebec has a huge interest and respect and passion for other cultures, at least in Montreal, But in Montreal, I feel it's like they like to learn the language of the country where they're going to travel, for example. The neighborhood I would choose is downtown. Usually I find the downtown of a city, it's very, very important. It's like the heart of the city. Downtown Montreal is the first part of the city we met. When we came to Montreal, our first day was in downtown. All my most important experiences, Concordia, where I studied McGill, where I'm currently working, the Museum of Fine Arts, and many other museums and galleries, all that is located in downtown. So I think it really concentrates like the cultural, academic, and social life of Montreal. In a way, I belong there. It's also the Mount Royal. My work is half a block from the mountain, so I can go from my office to the mountain, the field, like the green, the grass, the trees, the birds, and then come back to the studio, and I really like that.
On the southern slope of Mount Royal, a chateau-style building houses the McTavish Reservoir. Credits begin. A film reel shows portraits of Latin Quebec artists. In one image, a drizzle of maple syrup drips from a tin can. It pools into the shape of Latin America. The title appears on the amber puddle. Vues transversales, a panorama of Latin American art in Quebec. Direction, production and audiovisual post-production, Felix Herrera. Production and content, Angela Sierra. Research and translations, Yseult Picard. Animation, G4 Audiovisual, and Aaron Amortigui Sanchez. Project direction, Mariza Rosales Argonza. Many thanks to the Latin artists and their talent, who make Vues transversales possible. Ana Catalina Montoya, Ana Pfeiffer Quiros, Beatriz Herrera, Diana Leon, Diego Yeo Herrera, Laura Bari, María Ezcurra, Mauricio Segura, Rafael Sotolicchio, and Rafael Zaldivar. Music, Rafael Zaldivar. Circularity, Danza Negra, Decima, Don Heather, Eyesight, Miguel Guanco, Oneness, and Pregonero. Special thanks to the Centre Culturel Notre Dame de Grâce and the Bibliothèque Bénie, to Édition Boréal, to Les Grands Ballets Canadiennes, to Cajoyerie, to the Maison de la Culture Villeray Saint-Michel Park Extension, to the Salle de Diffusion de Park Extension, to McGill University and to the Théâtre aux Écuries. Vues transversales is a production of the Fondation LatinArte, in association with the MEM and Citica. Vues transversales is made possible thanks to the financial support of the City of Montreal and the Conseil des Arts et des Lettres du Québec. Audio description by Ella Cuscio.